Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Hey, it's Joshua Lenox, the Inspiration Station. Y'all already know how we do it. We upsize in 2025 all day, every day. Happy Friday to y'all. What is the 17th? I know y'all get tired of me saying it, but y'all, we're in the middle of October. Well, forget the middle. We're over the middle of October. I can smell the aroma of Thanksgiving, and I think some of y'all know that I love to cook for Thanksgiving, so I'm looking forward to that, but I'm not trying to rush it, but these days are flying by really quickly. So hope today has been absolutely great. I know this is the best part of your day because you're here with me. I know you don't have to tell anybody. I know you don't have to make anybody feel, bad or anything, but I know this is the best part of your day being with me, and I'm so glad about it. Glad that you're here. As I always say, if you have had any challenges, any obstacles, any things that have really grinded your gears today or whatever, just let there be a reminder that, first of all, you're alive. Second of all, you are resilient. Third of all, you can overcome and conquer anything. You've done it before and you're going to do it again. Even if some of that stuff is still sitting with you, it will not be permanent. It will not last. It's very temporary, and it's nothing that you can't handle. It's nothing that you can't see through, and it's nothing that you can't get through, and it's nothing that you cannot overcome. All right, all in one breath, y'all. But hope that you all are having a great evening so far, and will continue to do the same and enjoy your weekend. I'm gonna get all of this rigmarole out at the beginning. Thank you for everybody who's continuing to view the Inspiration Station and sharing and doing all of those things. I really appreciate it. I'm just glad that you all are continuing to show up, and there's no telling where this is about to go or turn here soon. So just stay tuned and continue to watch. Thank you to all of you all who are watching right now on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live, also on Spotify, Amazon, Audible, Apple. Is that it? Yeah, it is. And I think, you know what? I keep saying Amazon and Audible, and I think that's two, they're not separate. I think it's actually Audible, but I'm gonna say Amazon and Audible. So double A on that. We're gonna just keep it right there. So again, let's get right into it, y'all. The Inspiration Station is we're here to make sure that we are working on being open, honest, and vulnerable, not only with others, but also with ourselves. This is a place where we recognize that we are an inspiration to any and everybody who's ever crossed your path. And most of all, you're an inspiration to yourself each and every day. And don't you look at me and tell me, I don't know if I inspire anybody. I don't know if I can inspire people or anything of that nature. You do every day. And even whether that's your family, whether that's your children, whether it's people at work, whether it's anybody in the community, whether that's just in your neighborhood, whether that's you just saying hello to that person in the post office or giving somebody a smile when you went for a walk, any and everywhere you go, you inspire somebody. Let's just make sure that that's always positive, because even when it might be something that's unfavorable, maybe you cuss somebody out. Let's just go there. You cut somebody out. You might have inspired somebody to work on their temper or work on making sure they watch their mouths, or maybe being a little careful how they treat people. So it can even be reframed as positive, but we're all not cussing people out, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't have to tell you. You can tell me in here. It's okay. But we don't have to share that with anybody else. But it's okay. Just kind of watch yourself a little bit. And also, yes, this is a place where this is a safe place, a safe haven, as I like to call it, to where we can literally come and look in the mirror with one another. Also, where people will be coming on and guests, y'all. I'm going to have people there's a lineup. It seemed like after the summer and things like that, people are kind of, we're getting closer to holidays and people are just trying to get in the rhythm of things, but people are still very productive and very much so in great demand. So I do have some people lined up that are going to come on and you're going to love to talk to. And as I always say, everybody is a superstar. And let me be very clear. When I say that everybody's a superstar, I mean that I automatically can see the greatness in people. I don't, of any walks of life, even if they don't see it in themselves. I've always been that way, even when I was a child. And I still am greatly that today. I can see the giant in people, the amazing talents and gifts and abilities that even they don't see. I can see it in them. So everybody's a superstar to me. Every single person is a superstar to me. Even people who I don't care for, they're a superstar to me. But also, they're going to be coming on to make sure that they drop some nuggets of wisdom and just share with us. So this continues to give us some things to run on and see what the end is going to be in our lives. So I'm gonna jump right in, y'all. Y'all just hold on, buckle your seatbelt. It's going to be very quickly. It's going to be very quick. But I want to say, first of all, it's not just you. It's not just you. So point to yourself right now and just say, it's not just me. It's not just you. What do you mean by that, Josh? I'm glad you asked, because I can't wait to address that with you right now. It's not just you. Sometimes what I mean by that is that you can be in certain environments, whether that be family, that be work, any relationship of any kind. I mean, you can be around people anywhere, and sometimes in a certain capacity, people can make you feel as if there are so many issues or problems with you, and that if you don't change those things, it's like it's all on you. If you would change and improve, if you would make better choices, if you would heal, if you would become this better person, if you would stop doing certain things or whatnot, that means your dynamic with them would be so much better. But where we fall short on that is knowing that some people act like they don't have accountability, or they're not honest about how they feel, or the struggles that they have, or insecurities. And let me tell you something. My mother always taught me when I was a child, I would just jump for joy for people, and I would see people so high and above, not just so much above me. I just look at people so grand and high, and I would put people on a pedestal. And it's something, honestly, I've still had to make sure I check myself with. And some people are like, well, Josh, you wouldn't have a problem with that because you're a therapist. Yeah, but I don't walk around therapizing my life every day. That's not healthy. I'm very much so still a human, working through my own things. But what I want to share with you all about that is that I didn't realize the same people I'm putting up on a pedestal are people who have just as much or just as many insecurities as I have. They cry, they're lonely, they don't always have the greatest self-esteem, they don't always have the greatest confidence, they don't always think highly of themselves. They sometimes think they're not good enough, they think they're unlovable, they feel overlooked, they feel unwanted. I just could never imagine seeing it. And you know what? There are times, many times, and I'm so grateful to God for the opportunities He's allowed me so far to be in the presence of people who are celebrities, or people, and also public figures, or great people. We're all great, but people who are really doing major things in the world that we revere and honor and respect for their talents, their gifts, and abilities. And I would crack up because I would be in a room, or I could be always in close proximity, and it's like they would open up to me immediately. And they would just start to tell me things, and they would be open and honest about stuff. And I would almost want to be like, now, if I was somebody who was, no good, I could take what you're saying, record it, and try to put it out there or do it. And it's totally not me. And I was just like, it would be an honor. But then it would check me in a sense. And I'd be like, see, even these people who you admire from a distance, whether they are musicians, whether they're singers, whether they're actors, whether they're models, whether they're in sports, athletics, or anything, whether they're in government, whether they're in great levels or seats of power, they are human too. And I would call my mom sometime, and I'd be like, Mama, you won't believe, da, 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 and I got to meet that person, and I work with them, and this and that. And they really were talking to me like I was, they felt safe with me. And my mom was like, well, people see that in you, Josh. They can trust you. They know that you're not a person who's going to be a malicious, not a threat, and things of that nature. I'm like, I'm thankful to God for that, because I'm not. But at the same time, my mom said, this is why I told you as a child, do not put people on pedestals, because they have things too, Josh. And, for me, I think growing up a lot of times, whether I was in certain friendships, even in relationships, in family dynamics, groups, organizations, with choirs, groups, singing, plays, anything of that nature, it was always people that wanted to point out my issues or my things, or tell me that I'm this or that. A lot of things I used to hear, sometimes people would say, you're too sensitive. And I'm like, I'm too sensitive. I'm not walking around crying and stuff. I'm always been a person who's sensitive to others. So very empathetic. And when I would want to share with people certain things I was feeling, they would say, you're being too sensitive. And what it really was is that I was highlighting their insecurity in actually creating space for sensitivity, or their lack of it. So they have to point out my stuff, or people would tell me, you talk too much. Or whatever you need, or you think you better than us and stuff, and which I think used to be hilarious. Y'all, I had an undergrad, I had somebody tell me that I was in lab with her, geology. I was in lab with her, and we had to work together one day. And I went to sit down, and I started talking to her and stuff. She sent me an email, y'all. Back then, it was like through I think it was hotmail.com. Oh, throwback. But she sent me an email, and she said, She just started apologizing, and it was long. And I was like, "What in the world?" But she was saying she misjudged me. She thought because when I came into class, I always seemed very serious, and my face was just, I guess people say RBF, or if I wasn't smiling, I guess she thought I was mean or like I was stuck up or something, which I thought was a great compliment. I was like, "You calling me stuck up? That's a compliment." Nobody's ever said they thought I was stuck up, and I appreciated her apology, but what she said was that she would no longer judge a book by its cover because she realized in that moment I wasn't stuck up. But when I walked over there to start talking to her and smiling, she really felt bad the whole time we were working together because she's like, "Here I am, done talked down about him, thinking he's stuck away. He's a sweet person. He's really kind and he's really helpful." And I think another thing with that lets me know that probably some part of her, uh, for her to think I was stuck up immediately and judging me, there's something was going on with her. And again, in these moments, I'm like, I wouldn't think just because she called me stuck up and all this, that maybe she's dealing with some insecurities or maybe she's projecting something onto me. So I want to say you are not the only one. Some of you, wait, let me back up. Sometimes even the person called the black sheep of the family, let's talk about that. You know, you're the black sheep, you stand out, you're the person that nobody wants to deal with, or you're the strong, the strange person or the unicorn in a sense of the family, and nobody wants to deal with you. And it's like, well, has anybody ever taken any accountability to realize maybe how they contribute to your behavior in the family dynamic? Has anybody taken accountability or even taken not even accountability, but taken a step to come talk to you, to come sit down and ask you or say certain concerns they might have about you in love? Or is it just that you're just pushed away all the time, like something's wrong with you? And it's like those same people have issues as well. You can be talked down about, you can be called all kinds of names, you can be made to feel as if you're not wanted in certain circles, in certain spaces, and that's okay. But at the same time, it's like, can we all take a moment to actually pull back the veil that we think we have or take the mask off and realize that all of us have things that we struggle with each and every day? That was a great thing that it took me some time to realize that because I saw everybody as just good. I saw everybody as great. I saw everybody, and a lot of times I would see a lot of people and think that they were just, I would revere them because I would think they were better than me. And I would think like, oh, they don't have any problems. They don't have any issues. Look how confident they are. Look how amazingly well they do things, until I started to sing with people who I greatly admire, certain gospel artists, certain just people in general, performing and doing things of that nature and not even knowing, seeing them backstage. And I'm like, they're nervous. They're scared. I think what messed me up with y'all one time is Whitney Houston said when she would be backstage, she would be petrified a lot of times because she's like, are they gonna love me? Are they gonna like me? Am I gonna be able to hit the notes? Am I gonna be? And I'm like, Whitney Houston, are you crazy? Like, who's not gonna like you? Who's not gonna love your voice? Who's not? We call you the voice for a reason. Who's not gonna think you're gonna blow these notes out the water? But she had those inadequacies or the feeling of inadequacies. Michael Jackson, as great of an entertainer as he was, he had great insecurities, and we got to see it all play out in before our eyes, unfortunately. Those things were lessons to me, and they still are lessons to me to try, because I have to pull myself. I'll be honest, I have to pull myself in because I see the greatness in people, and I will sometimes, and after I overlook it, I just be like, well, maybe it's not that. Well, no, and it's like sometimes even the Lord has convicted me, like, yes, it is. And I think for me, I'm a person who will love people through their insecurities. And I want you all to think about what I'm saying and think about how you can model that in your connections with people and also the things that you will desire yourself. That's what you want to also sow that to other people. I always fought to make sure that I can understand people, even if it was difficult, even if it was trying for me or challenging. I try to make sure I understand people, stand in the gap for them, look, pray for them. Also, it's not so much that something about them is right or wrong. Maybe you just don't have a great understanding of who they are. And sometimes it's hard for people to open up and be vulnerable enough or transparent to tell you their insecurities, their inadequacies, their negative core beliefs. It's hard sometimes because people will use that against you. People will use it against you. They'll weaponize it. They'll do it to hurt your feelings, to bring you down. And it's like, wait a minute. I didn't tell you to tell you that. I told you that in confidence. And I think it's important that we stand with people, we support people. You'd be surprised at some of the greatest talents that we see in the world, greatest talent of any kind, with immaculate skills and abilities, and they struggle. struggle with maybe how they look, struggle with how they talk, struggle with how they show up, struggle with what they don't have. I remember hearing stories a lot of times. I love to study documentaries and biographies of people. I always have since I was a child. I would run my favorite section. If you all remember the Dewey Decimal System, for some of y'all, I might be telling on myself, but the Dewey Decimal System in the library, I'll run to the biographies so quick because I wanted to learn about people's lives, especially people who were in the limelight. I wanted to know who they were before they became that. What was their drive? What did they come from? What was their aspirations? What was their family dynamic? How were they in school? Did they make good grades? Things of that nature. Did they have relationships or anything like that? So it's like I always wanted to know who people were before they became in the limelight, because I think sometimes also when you get in the limelight, some of those things may surface and become even greater issues for a person. And it's important to be surrounded by people who can help support, who can help love you through that, who can stand with you. And also because we're always going to have things we're working on. It's one thing to go to people and let them know certain things you noticed in them, but also it's good to let people know also things you struggle with. We all struggle with something all the time. We all have things we're working through. There's some things that you're working through that are great. You're much better at it right now. Maybe you used to feel very much so as if you were disqualified for certain things. And now maybe because you started to do more things, you notice, wait a minute, I am qualified. I'm not disqualified in having anything or becoming anything. I might still struggle with it, but at the same time, it's nowhere near how it used to be. So think about how important, I think for me, sometimes when I'm talking with my clients, I let them know certain snippets, very small snippets of my life so that they can see themselves in a mirror so they don't feel like they're by themselves, or they don't feel like they're crazy or feel like something's wrong with them. I'm like, all of us have something we're struggling with. And what a better world it would be if we all could be safe enough to share those things so that everybody can almost see themselves in somebody else and know that they're not by themselves and they're not alone. Not by themselves and alone. It's the same thing, but we're going to just go with it, right? So it's not just you. It's not just you that cries sometimes. It's not just you that's lonely. It's not just you that feels like you've been thrown away. It's not just you that feels that you're not good enough. It's not just you that feels unlovable at times. It's not just you that feels like you're unwanted, unheard, unseen. It's not just you that think that you're behind. It's not just you that think that you should be farther in your life right now. It's not just you to feel as if nobody really cares about you. It's not just you to think that you thought you had so much support and you found out you really didn't. It's not just you that is wanting more money and your finances to increase and you're working so hard and don't feel like you always see the fruit of it. It's not just you that might even feel like sometimes God doesn't hear your prayers, even though he hears everything. But sometimes where we feel like he's so quiet and he's not answering us and he's not speaking. It's not just you that is upset at your family for how they don't show up for you. It's not just you that feels like you're tired of feeling stuck all the time in certain areas of your life. It's not just you that desires to be married and feel like you can't go on because you've been divorced multiple times. It's not just you who's struggling with being single. It's not just you that looks in the mirror and does not always like what you see. It's not just you that works out all the time and maybe have a six pack and ripped and everything, and you still see the person who was overweight or who had more weight on them. It's not just you that has anxious moments or goes into panic when you don't know what's coming in the future. It's not just you that falls into depressive moments and that nobody ever sees. It's not just you that's running to a substance or running to some food or running to workout overly a workout or going to shop compulsively, that's going to have sex sometimes when you know you shouldn't. It's not just you. It's not just you that has unhealthy habits that you're trying to work through. It's not just you that doesn't always feel like you're successful. It's not just you who has certain dreams and visions that have not come to pass yet and you feel like your time is up. It's not just you that think that it's too late to see the greatest part of your life. It's not just you. It's not just you. It's not just you. Okay? It's not just you. So next time you start looking around at people who you admire, who influence you, who inspire you, who even motivate you, including myself, looking at me, please know every one of us, any person who's on this earth has issues, has struggles, has challenges, things they don't like about themselves, things that they battle with. But how much better could we all be if we had safe people to go to that could allow us to share those things and grow from those things with each other as they also let me know some things about them. So I don't feel like I'm just some castaway. If y'all remember those D's I mentioned to y'all before, that I don't feel like I'm the only one that's feels discarded, disqualified, disposed of. What's the other D, y'all? Disposed, disqualified. Oh goodness. Y'all know them. Discarded, disqualified, disposed of, and there's another one. And I may have said all four of them and I don't get them, but y'all charge it to my don't charge it to nothing. Charge it to the game. But just know, how much better can you shine your light with allowing people to come to you and feel safe to be a little open about things that they struggle with, and by you doing the same. Think about how much better we all could edify and build one another up. Why do you think in the Bible it says confess your sins one to another? Sometimes confessing somebody your issues to somebody else, or doing those things, it's like that person be like, whew, you know what? I got my own stuff I need to confess to. We all have things that we're working through. And even when we want to go there to the word and whatever, we all have fallen short. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Every last person. And if you say that you have not sinned, you're deceiving yourself. You're a liar. You're lying. When it goes like what they say on Mario, when it comes to the results of such and such and such, the results say you are a liar. We all have things we've got to work on. We need to work on. We all have wounds. We all have pain. We all have better versions of ourselves that we're working towards every day. This is why it's important not to go around pointing out other people's things. The word says, how are you going to point out the speck in somebody else's eye? You can't see the log in your own. We all have things that we're working through. So it's important for us to spread love. I say it all the time. Y'all know that. Spread love more than you can. And love sometimes maybe going to somebody and saying certain things that you notice about them, but in a place of not where you're criticizing them or where you're beating them down, just something of recognition, but making it a safe space for them to be open about maybe something that you're seeing or noticing with them. And also let them know some things you may have had to overcome, or things that you do. The word says that they were overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. That's why it's important when you can get an opportunity to share things that you've overcome, the things that God has brought you through with other people. That helps them overcome. That helps them know that there's somebody else out here that has gone through something of the same or the similar, and it lets me know I can make it too. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better than I've ever been before. I'm going to be better than where I am. I'm not going to always be here. So it's not just you, all of us, every single person. If you pull back the curtain and the veil, or open the closet to anybody, you'd be surprised at what you see. But how much better is if we got a glimpse of people's closets or behind their mask or behind their veil, to love them no matter what, to offer a place of understanding, getting to know that person. They're more than their issues. You're more than your issues. You're more than the things you feel inadequate about. But we're not going to stay there. And this is how we continue to affirm ourselves. We continue to love on ourselves. Be honest. To thine own self be true. Y'all, really funny. I had somebody tell me one time, and I mean, they were being deep. The Bible says, to thine own self be true. I was like, no, ma'am, that's not it. It's not in there. It's not in there. But yes, to thine own self be true. That's how we can heal, and understanding and pointing certain things out and looking at what some steps that I'm going to do that's going to also show me that some of these things I'm thinking are not even true. Maybe these are things that people have placed on me because I've been made to feel as if I'm always the issue. I'm always the problem child. I'm always the problem family member. I'm always the problem coworker. I'm always the one who is, causing issues because I speak up or I have questions, whatever that is. So, y'all, it has been wonderful. You don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here. I could have said the other thing, but I can't say that on here. Oh, but wait a minute. If I did, that would just remind you that I'm not perfect, but a definite work in progress, and a person who's consistent and faithful in improving, which that's who all of you are. You are consistent and faithful in actively improving yourself on a day-to-day basis. So if you don't remember anything I said tonight, which you're going to remember everything, right? So just remember, it's not just you. It's not just you. It's not just you. People can't just point out your stuff, because as soon as they're what they say, you point at your finger, you got four fingers point. Well, I don't want to throw up no gang signs or nothing, but we all can point back to ourselves. As soon as you point out what somebody else is wrong in or what they're not doing or their issues or whatever there are, make sure you survey yourself and evaluate and assess yourself too, because you got some stuff to work on too. And again, there are certain times if you're a leader of any kind of things like that, have children, have employees, have people who work for you, have clients, whatever that is, or have people who are under you're under your leadership. You are to call out certain things that you notice about somebody, but again, go to that person with constructive criticism, and also find a level of understanding why this is surfacing with this person. Not where you're using this to beat the person down and you just talk to them as if you're just King Tut or something, or Queen Sheba, and like you talk so down to them like you're above everybody and you're just the best thing since sliced bread, because you're not. Even though every one of y'all are the best thing since sliced bread, but we don't have to use that in a way where we're tearing other people down to feel better about ourselves. So without further ado, y'all know where to find me next Friday. What time? Yes, I heard all of y'all. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, and 4 p.m. Pacific Time. So I hope that you all have enjoyed tonight. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Each and every one of you are amazing people. You're doing great things, and you're going to do even greater things. And guess what? You're going to do it even with those struggles you have, because you're getting better. And also, I think sometimes we need to be reminded of certain things that we do, because it keeps you always in a place of wanting to grow, always in a place of humility, knowing that for me, I feel like anything I've ever done or I am doing, God has been, because God has to get the glory and he has helped me to do it. I cannot do anything. It's in him that I live, I move, and have my being. Same for you. We can't do anything without him. But isn't it amazing that he uses us in spite of the things that we go through, or what how we feel about ourselves, how we look at ourselves, how we judge ourselves sometimes, how we criticize ourselves, that he still uses us. So because again, we're all a work in progress and he's working on us daily, right? So again, y'all, see y'all next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love each and every one of you. Spread love now more than ever. We need the unity in the ways that we can have it. I'll just say that. Also, I just want to say, you've always been great. You're just getting better. You've always been great. You're just getting better. And now you're starting to understand it and embrace it. So without further ado, you've all got to get out of here. I've got to get off of here. It's time. It's late. It's always a pleasure speaking with all of you. Ta-ta. Until next time. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for watching The Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.